Jesus, I surrender.
The 13th of August, 1899, Volume 2. Jesus assumes the image of Louisa. He continued to make himself seen this morning for just a little, always threatening to send chastisements. And as I would go about praying him to placate himself, he would escape me like a flash. The last time he came, he made himself seen crucified. I placed myself near him to kiss his most holy wounds, doing various adorations. But while I was doing this, instead of Jesus Christ, I saw my own image. I was surprised, and I said, Lord, what am I doing? Am I doing the adorations to myself? This cannot be done. At that very instant, he changed into the person of Jesus Christ, and he told me, do not be surprised that I have assumed your own image. If I suffer in you continuously, what is the wonder that I have assumed your very shape? Besides, is it not to make of you an image of myself that I make you suffer? I remained all confused, and Jesus disappeared. May everything be for his glory, and may his holy name be always blessed. End of the reading.
The 13th of August, 1921, Volume 13. Sadness does not enter into the divine will. The divine will contains the substance of all joys and the fount of all happinesses. I was feeling very afflicted, and my lovable Jesus, moving in my interior, told me, my daughter, courage, I don't want you afflicted, because for one who lives in my will, the smile of heaven, the contentment of the blessed, the peace of the saints caress the whole of her being. My will contains the substance of all joys, the fount of all happinesses, and one who lives in my will, even in sorrow, feels pain and joy, tears and smile, bitterness and sweetness, needed together within her. Contentment is inseparable from my will. You must know that as you think in my will, as you speak, as you work, as you love, etc., you deliver to my will as many children, for as many thoughts as you make, for as many words as you say, for as many works and acts of love as you emit. These children multiply to the infinite in my will and go around throughout heaven and through the entire earth, bringing new joy, new glory and contentment to heaven and new grace to the earth, going through all hearts, carrying my sighs, my moans, the pleas of their mother who wants them saved and who wants to give them her life. Now these children, birthed from my will, in order to be recognised as my children, must resemble and have the same manners of the mother who delivered them. If they look sad, they will be put out of heaven, being told, sadness doesn't enter our residence. They will not find their way into the creatures because, in seeing them sad, creatures will doubt that they are true, legitimate children of my will. Besides, one who is sad does not have the grace to creep into others, to conquer them and dominate them. One who is sad is not capable of heroism and of giving himself for the good of all. Many times these children are aborted, dying during labour, without coming out to the light of the divine will. End of the reading.
13th of August, 1923, Volume 16. The Fiat Voluntas Tua had its beginning, origin and seed in the celestial Mama. This plan of the human will in the divine was realised by Jesus, and now, through Louisa, he makes it available to human creatures. I felt oppressed because of the privation of my sweet Jesus. So I started to pray, praying that he would no longer delay in return to my poor soul, for I could no longer resist. Then, to my surprise, I saw that he was clinging to my neck, surrounding me with his arms, with his face touching mine, and with a light which he wanted to infuse in my mind. Drawn to him, I kissed him, but it was as though I wanted to reject that light, as I said to myself, I don't care about knowing things. All I want is to save my soul, and Jesus alone is enough to save me. All the rest is nothing. But Jesus touched my forehead, and I could no longer resist. So the light entered into me and said, my daughter, one who has been called to an office must know the secrets, the importance, the duties, the goods, the founder, and all that belongs to that office. Now you must know that a simple creature broke the relations which existed between the divine will and the creature, and this split destroyed the plans which God had in the creation of man. Now, a simple creature, the virgin queen of all, although endowed with many graces and privileges, but still a mere creature, was given the office to bind again, to be tested by, and to place herself in relation with the will of her creator, in order to repair the first split of the first creature. A woman, the first one, a woman, the second one. She was the one who, binding her will to ours, gave back to us the honor, the decorum, the subjection, and the rights of creation. Was it not one creature alone who received the beginning of evil and formed the seed of the ruin of all generations? In the same way, this celestial creature alone received the beginning of good by putting herself in relation with the will of her creator. She formed the seed of the eternal fiat, which then became a tree, and the eternal word felt drowned to rest in the shade of his eternal will, and he was conceived, forming his humanity in that virginal womb in which his supreme will reigned as a ruling king. Do you see then how all goods come from my supreme will, and all evils enter the field when the creature withdraws from the divine will? Had I not found a creature who had my will as life, and who placed herself in relation with me, with those bonds of creation wanted by me, I would not have wanted, nor would I have been able to descend from heaven to take on human flesh in order to save man. Therefore, my mama was the beginning, the origin, the seed of the Fiat Voluntas Tua on earth as it is in heaven. Since one creature had destroyed it, it was just that one creature would rebuild it. And since my humanity never separated from my divinity, upon this seed of my own will, which I found in my divine mother, I formed the great plan of the human will in the divine will. With my human will united to the divine, there was not one human act which I did not place in relation to the supreme will. With the divine will, I was aware of all the acts of all generations. With the human will, I repaired and bound them to the eternal will. There was not one act which escaped me, and which was not ordered by me in the most pure light of the supreme will. I could say that redemption cost me little. My external life, the pains of my passion, my examples, my word would have been sufficient. I would have done it quickly. But in order to form the great plan of the human will in the divine, to bind all the relations and links which had been broken by it, I had to place all my interior, all my hidden life, all my intimate pains, which are far more numerous and more intense than my external pains, and which are not yet known. It is enough to say that I impetrated not only forgiveness, remission of sins, refuge, salvation, and defense in the great dangers of the life of man, as I did during my passion, but the new rising of all his interior. I had to make the sun of the eternal will rise, which, binding with enrapturing power the whole interior of man, even his most intimate fibres, was to lead him to the womb of my celestial Father, as though reborn in his eternal will. Oh, how much easier it was for me to impetrate his salvation than to reorder his interior in my supreme volition. Had I not done this, redemption would not have been complete, nor a work worthy of a God. I would have neither fixed nor ordered all the parties of man, nor would I have restored in him that sanctity which was lost by withdrawing from the divine will and by breaking the relations with it. The plan is already accomplished, but in order to make it known, first it was necessary for man to know that with my life and passion he could obtain forgiveness and salvation, in order to dispose him to know how I had impetrated for him the greatest and most important thing, the new rising of his will in mine, to give him back his nobility and the relations with my will which had been broken, and with it his original state. Now, my daughter, if my eternal wisdom disposed that a celestial creature, the holiest of all, would prepare the seed of my holy will, in which I formed the plan of the new rising of man in my supreme will, now through another creature, by letting her enter the eternal regions of my will and binding her will to mine, uniting her to all my acts, I make all of her interior rise again in the eternal sun of my will, and I open the field of this plan to the generations, so that whoever wants it can enter into it to put herself in relation with her Creator. And if until now the creatures have enjoyed the goods of redemption, now they will move on to enjoy the fruits of the Fiat Voluntas Tua on earth as it is in heaven, as well as the lost happiness, the dignity and nobility, the peace, all celestial, which by doing his will, man had made disappear from the face of the earth. Greater grace I could not give him, because by placing him again in relation to my will, I give back to him all the goods with which I endowed him in creating him. Therefore, be attentive, since this is about opening a large field of goods for all your brothers. End of the reading.
The 13th of August, 1933, Volume 32. Delirium and divine passion of the divine volition in wanting to live together with the creature. Its new act and the divine painter. What it means to live in the supreme volition. I'm always returning into the arms of the divine will. It seems that it yearns to have me always with itself in order to give me its continuous life, and I yearn for it in order to receive it. Without it, I would feel the earth lacking under my feet, the heartbeat lacking in my heart, and I would suffer a tremendous hunger without anything else that could give me even one crumb in order to satisfy my hunger. O divine will, let us live together if you want to make me happy and be able to find in me the happiness of your same life. But while my mind was lost in the fiat, my beloved Jesus, making me his brief little visit, told me, my blessed daughter, I could say that it is a delirium, a divine passion of my will that wants to live together with the creature, seeding this in order to have the human littleness. But do you know why? You must know that my divine volition always has ready a new act to give to the creature, but if she does not live together with it, she does not accustom herself to doing her acts united with my volition in order to form one alone. And it cannot give it because, first, she would not be worthy to receive it, and second, because she would not understand the value of the great gift that she receives, and she would not have the virtue of absorbing it inside herself as her own life. By living together with my divine will, she acquires new life, divine ways, celestial science, penetration of the most profound things. In sum, as my fiat is the teacher of teachers, it is it who creates the higher sciences and makes things known not veiled, but as they really are. Therefore, living together with the creature, it does not want to keep her ignorant. It instructs her. It makes her its surprises. It recounts to her its divine story. And this transforms her and renders her capable of receiving its new act that my volition wants to give her. And in every act that the soul does united with it, she acquires a new prerogative of divine likeness. By living together with my volition, the soul becomes refined, embellished, and in our creative hands becomes like suitable canvas in the hands of the painter, that however more beautiful, more fine is the canvas, so much more beautiful becomes the image that he wants to paint on that canvas. It seems that his brushes and his colours acquire more art, are more skillful, even more because they make the colours come alive over such a very fine canvas. In fact, because it comes alive, the canvas changes in image and acquires such value as to render itself admired by who knows how many people. Now, my will is more than divine painter, and it never tires of giving new beauty, sanctity, and new science. And it remains waiting for an act done together with it, in order to enrich it, in order to make itself known even more, and to make use of its divine brushes, in order to elevate her to such height and rare beauty, as to make her be admired by who knows how many generations, in a way that all will call her beautiful. And one will feel happy who has the good of looking at her, at all the new acts received by God in virtue of what she has worked in my volition. They will extol her, and singing her praises, they will make her known as the most beautiful work of my divine fiat. Its wanting to abase itself to living with the creature, its divine delirium, is a sign that it wants to do great and worthy of its creative power things with her. Therefore, living together with my fiat is the greatest fortune, and must be the delirium, the vehement passion and ambition of everyone. After this, I felt inside of me and outside of me the murmuring sea of the divine fiat. Oh, how sweet, gentle is its murmur. It murmurs and it speaks. It murmurs and caresses its beloved creature. It murmurs and kisses her, and clasping her in its arms, it tells her, I love you and I ask for love. There is nothing more beautiful, more welcome than I love you being said by a volition so holy. And it asks in exchange the little love of the creature, and I felt this divine murmur flow as life in all my being. And my sweet Jesus added, my daughter, do you want to know what it means to do and live in my divine will? To know where she finds herself, with whom she has something to do, what she can receive, not forgetting the good that she has received? These are all signs that the soul lives in my divine will, because to say that she lives in it and does not know where to find the divine royal palace that lends itself to being her dwelling would be to not appreciate it, because things, people, places, when they do not know each other, they do not appreciate each other. To say, I live in the divine volition and not know it is absurd. And if she does not know it, it is not a reality, but a way of speaking. While the first thing that my will does is reveal itself, to make itself known to the one who wants to live together with it. Therefore, knowing where she finds herself, she knows what she has to do with a volition so holy that wants everything in order to give her everything. So she places herself in the act of receiving its sanctity, its light, and she places herself in the act of living of the goods of the one whom she lives together with. Because knowing it, she does not feel that she abases herself in her humour will anymore, more so because it is not hers anymore. With this knowledge, the creature acquires the hearing in order to hear it, the voice in order to speak about it, the mind in order to comprehend it, the trust in the divine will in order to ask for everything and receive everything. In fact, she does not ignore the goods that she possesses. Rather, she is all eyes in order to watch over them and thank the one who abased itself so much to live with her. Now, if someone will read these lines that I have made you write and will not comprehend what was written, and wondering will place in doubt a truth so sacrosanct, and where the creature can reach by living together with my divine volition, it is a sign that she does not live with it. How can she comprehend it if she does not hold in herself this life so holy? She has never tasted its delights. She has never listened to its beautiful lessons. Her palate has never enjoyed this celestial food that my will knows how to give. Therefore, they ignore what my fiat knows how to do and give. And if they ignore it, how can they comprehend it? When a good is not known, if they do not feel at least the dispositions of wanting to believe it, it brings blindness to the mind and hardness to the heart. And one can reach even to despising that good. But for the one who knows it and possesses it, it forms her fortune and her glory. She would give her human life in order to possess the life of my fiat and its goods that she has known. And knowing it, she is all ears in order to listen to it. She is all eyes in order to look at it. She is all heart in order to love it. She is all tongue in order to speak of it. Rather, she would want to have who knows how many tongues in order to say the good that she knows, the prerogatives of the one whom she possesses as life, because hers is not enough for her to be able to say everything that she knows. Therefore, when I want to give a good, a gift, especially the great gift of my will as life in the creature, the first thing that I do is that of making it known. I do not want to give light and place it under a bushel as if she would not have it, nor do I want to give my gifts in order to hide them as though buried in her. What is the use of giving them? And if she does not know them, how could the poor creature correspond to me, love them, and appreciate them? If I give, it is because I want that we live together, and united we enjoy the good that I have given her. Rather, your Jesus acts as vigilant sentinel in order to watch over what I have given to my beloved creature. So to know means to possess. To possess means to know. For one who does not know, the truths render themselves difficult and without life. Therefore, be attentive and enjoy what your Jesus has given you and made known to you. End of the reading. There are no more readings today. Have a blessed day.